Hey everybody, welcome to the Immaterial Gamers podcast, episode number 7. I am your temporary host this week, Duncan, also known as GeoffVader. Our usual host, Mr. Ryan, is currently away down in London town, seeing the Rooster Teeth folks at RTX London. So I'll be taking over his duties for the week. Hopefully I can at least be adequate. I've tried to step up my game a little bit this week with my new microphone, clean up my audio quality a little bit. You know, if I can't behave like a professional podcast host, then at least I can sound like one. Today we have on our guest list. We're gonna start from top to bottom in our Discord server here. We have our favorite Eastern European vampire co-host. It's Darius.
Hello everyone. I love how the vampire is sick to me right now.
I keep trying to push that agenda every time you're on the podcast with us. Next up, we have co-founder of Immaterial Gamers and fairly regular guest on the podcast. We have Mopbucket. It's Matt.
Yeah, illustrious leader, back again.
They're illustrious indeed. So illustrious that he doesn't even need to announce the fact that he's going to be on the podcast. He just shows up if he feels like it.
Gotta do what man's gotta do.
And next up we have our... I'm not sure if this is your first time or second time on the podcast. Yeah, he's not on the podcast very often.
No, the first time.
But first time podcast guest, we have Mr. Neltu, also known as Hellsnights, also known as Danny.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, I guess I already introduced myself, didn't I? But just in case, I'm Duncan, again. This podcast is being recorded on the 16th of September, 2018. Alright, that having been out of the way, I suppose it's about time we talk about, what games we've been playing this week. I suppose we're going in the same order as our introductions. Why don't we go ahead and start with Darius? What have you been up to?
Fair enough. Well, last week, not much of video games. Still have not finished the vampire. I've been playing a bit more Destiny, trying the new go back, new strikes, new Gambit mode. Again, Heroes of the Storm. Nothing much new over here, but I did play few board games over the week.
Ooh, what have you been getting into?
So I kind of set up a Gloomhaven for myself. I was doing like a random dungeon just to kind of get my head more into deck management, how to make the best move, etc, etc. So I was playing on my own with 2 characters and I get my ass beaten. Well, that's
interesting.
Yeah, it's a nice big game, but you really need the time to play it.
I've sometimes been known to play deck games card games against myself, you know, just to sort of test my knowledge of how the deck works or how the game works, you know.
Yeah.
It's helpful when you're trying to figure out the rules and stuff, and like
exactly.
play rotations and stuff. You know, like the beginning, middle, end, and all the steps.
Keeping in mind that every single character have his own deck.
Eesh.
Oh boy, so that's a lot of games against yourself.
So, no, well, to be honest, I was just to pick up 2 characters, which most of the times me and somebody else is playing.
Oh, so you're already familiar with that?
Just to get my head around how to make a best combos.
Hmm. What,
how to win? How to try to win the game? Because right now I'm just losing most of the times. So.
So you lost against yourself.
I think Matt brings up a good point. Who did win, Darius?
Say again, sorry.
Was there actually a winner, Darius?
Yes, the winner was race from the forest. I forgot how they called.
Is it that you use it? Is it the...
Race from the Forest.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're basically playing versus AI.
Uh,
So they kick my ass quite hard.
Hmm.
Other than that, I've played with a friend Brass Birmingham, which is like it's kind of a card game with economics.
okay. Like comic illustrations or comic-based characters?
Well, it's more like I would say it's more like Monopoly without just going around.
Okay.
So every turn you have 2 actions. So basically you're building either a canal, so you can ship your goods around, or you're building a factory. When you build the factory is producing the goods. Then you have to have a connection to the market to make money.
So it's like an industrious thing.
Oh, demonies.
Basically,
Yeah.
an industrial thing. Wait, yeah. Trade routes and...
Yeah, yes,
Production.
yes.
Okay.
It's nice.
I make that
it's
money.
nice. It's kind of very good looking, nice game. Where you need to think a little bit to make, the best of your cards and possible actions on the board.
Do you have to...
And apart from it, sorry.
Do you have to wait? Do you have to try and control things or people to get over, or do you just own it?
Own it,
Oh, okay.
basically.
So you got to try and own the best trade routes and whatnot, and figure out if
Yes.
you want production or trade.
And
Sounds like kind of like almost like Settlers of Catan with a little bit of StarCraft inflection in there, which
Kind
sounds right
of.
up my alley.
Yep. Yeah, but apart from that, I've not played much more.
Well, that's all right. It's nice. Gets a little bit of variety, Get different kinds of gaming in there. It's not all about video games, although it's mostly about video games. Yeah, no, that sounds like fun. I kind of wish I could play more board games. I mean, I kind of kid. I mean, I've got lots of board games in our closet. My mom does like board games, but I feel like the rest of my family is a little bit light on that, and I don't really have anyone else to play it with. So it is what it is. I wish I could. I kind of wish I could be over there. Access to lots of potential board game companions from the Immaterial Gamers Network.
Well, the only thing we can buy is like the tabletop bundle that came out a couple of weeks back on Humble Bundle and stuff like that. You can only play the video game versions, not the little hard pieces.
That'd be an ultimate crossover of our gaming
Oh, we could actually.
interests.
It could be doable if someone was to play as you, and you do all the moves.
Well, that's where Skype comes in.
Yeah.
We just have
Skyping
2
in.
copies of the board game, and we just have the camera on the board.
Yeah.
Skyping in
Yeah.
our video games now.
Yeah.
It is one way of doing
It'd be a
it.
lot of fun though, Duncan, because you'd have to move like 10 pieces. We'd just have to move yours.
Well, it gives you something to do. It's not like I'm terribly busy or anything. Oh, well, except for the everything.
I don't know.
Well, I do have a webcam now.
Ooh.
Full HD webcam. So I can do such things now.
Fair dues.
I'm actually, on a side note, I've actually been thinking about maybe I might start getting into Twitch streams with my new webcam and microphone setup.
You could try it.
I'll have to learn about, how to stream, first of all, and also I want to look into recording natively to, re-upload on YouTube, possibly on our channel. But, that's all just in imagination phase at this point. There's no definitive plans. I don't want to get too much into
Terry
it
and
just
Chris
yet.
about it. I mean, they've both got practice.
Yeah, I'll definitely talk to them about that. But moving on with our video game discussion, I'm going to skip myself and leave myself for last. I don't know why. It's not like I'm building up suspense. It's not like I was playing very many games either. But we'll skip right on down to Matt. What have you been up to?
Sorry, I'm just dying off mic.
Okay.
No problems. Let us know when you're done.
Ugh, Jesus.
Throw you a phoenix down.
Oh, it's alright, I have coffee.
That's almost like a phoenix down.
Yeah, it's better. It's a Phoenix up.
See, a Phoenix down only brings you back with like a quarter of your health, but a coffee brings you back at 110%.
It's more coffee up.
200% on a Monday. Yeah, I've been playing WoW still, and delving into Sniper.
And we're back. Okay, so Matt, you were just telling us about what you were doing the last week before you went all crazy.
I was racking up kills. I'm kidding. No, I've still been playing WoW. Finally unlocked new alliance race, or ally race, sorry, not alliance race. Let's not mention those. The Makar, and also racking up some kills on Sniper Elite with some new guns, new DLC while it was on sale on the Humble Bundle.
Yeah.
So good.
Very nice. And how many testicles have you shot in Sniper Elite?
Ooh, not that many, actually. It's actually quite hard to get the testicle shot. Like, you aim at the nuts, and it tells you shot them in the kidney. They're not exactly in the same place. So, I think I've definitely...
There's a bit of a separation.
Yeah, but I have shot several Nazi balls, so...
Very nice. You're doing your country and, frankly, all the countries proud.
Yeah, doing my little bit for fictional World War II. In the middle of Italy, I think.
Yeah, we're in
I
Italy.
think that's where we're at.
Yeah, we're in Italy.
Man's popping caps in Nazis.
You've been playing by yourself or with someone
Me
else?
and
Bit of both.
I've been.
Co-op missions are pretty cool. Although they do give you a mild heart attack when you're uncovered and you've got Nazis shooting at you, and then all of a sudden your teammate gets a kill cam and you shit yourself thinking that kill cam is for you. And it's not. It's for the poor Nazi.
It's like a bullet comes streaking across, goes directly through your body. It's like, oh god, I'm blind. Wait, no, I'm not.
So you can hear bullets whizzing past you and then you're like, oh fuck.
Oh, the classic thing.
Do you get a kill cam for yourself when you
I
get
don't
shot?
think you do, but even with that knowledge, it still makes me panic a little bit. So, especially when I'm 2 feet from cover and it happens, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm stood in the middle of nowhere.
The classic thing of I'm aiming up a shot and Matt just ends up kill shotting it, kill coming it anyway. So it's like, and breathe and aim and oh damn it, Matt.
Yeah, you take too long. Mine's got places to go, Nazis to kill. I got a lot of bullets to give.
Testicles to shoot.
Exactly.
I've been getting more chest shots and contestant shots more than anything.
Yeah, other than that, I've been on Warcraft doing my usual, going through Kulturus, Zandalar, getting rep gains, unlocked the Mag'har, found out why they joined the Horde, which
I do
once
want
you
the
do
Mag'har
it,
anyway.
you'll find out, well, you need to be exalted with the Honorbound and ready for war, which I can't remember what that achievement entails, but you need it. You go to your emissary and they send you back to Draenor in the future without the demons, and you find out just how evil the Alliance actually are. I'm not going to say it because it will ruin it, but the demons are not the only ones forcing themselves on the orcs.
Well, that sounded weirdly sexual at the end there.
I want to make you drink my blood.
Fucking Alliance, right?
Yes.
Bunch of fascists is what they are.
Bunch of racists is what they are.
Horde equals freedom. Get that trending on Twitter.
Damn right.
Well, Horde is a mishmash of people. The Alliance majority is humanoid in origin.
Mostly white humans. Totally not racist.
I'm just going to put this out there for you, Danny. All races in Warcraft are humanoid.
You know what I mean?
Yes, humanoid really just means bipedal, upright standing, usually 2 limbs, you know, got the face.
Yeah, but the Alliance is basically looks human.
The rich.
It's like we got humans, and then you got gnomes, who are really short humans, and then you got dwarves, who are short humans but buff, And bearded, usually.
Yeah, well, based off Norse mythology, but yeah, never mind. And elves and whatnot, so it's just basically like, yeah...
Yeah, elves, who are, you know, humans, but with weird skin and pointy ears.
Don't age very much. Don't live for centuries and whatnot.
Don't forget the werewolves. Or the pandas.
I suppose the Pandarians do break them all.
Or the space cows.
Space cows?
The Draenei.
Oh.
They're space cows. They have hooves.
Draenei.
When you said that, I was like... I had
No,
is that what Darius is?
Not the normal cows, the Taurans.
I was thinking, yeah, the Tauren in a spacesuit.
Nah. But no, hopefully we're going to start recruiting with the guild that we have on there and start raiding soon. Well, that's the hope anyway.
That's the dream.
Get past Pog.
Dream of a hordeman. Get the guild together. Start raiding.
Start bumming the alliance. God,
That's what the horde does best, isn't it?
well, on most servers, yeah. There's the occasional server where we just let the alliance win a lot, and you know, just so we've got some kind of competition. Otherwise, they'd all get bored and fuck off, and it'd just be World of Hardcraft.
Well, would Idle be better?
Well, I mean, if you just win all the time, then you got nothing to do.
Yeah, and we do have to let them win.
They actually addressed that in the film Megamind.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like sometimes the bad guys just gotta bring it back a little bit, you know, let the good guy have his fun, and then crush him.
Except we are the good guys.
Exactly.
The Alliance see it as they're the good ones.
Hence why we torched their cities.
So would that make you more like Goku then?
I don't know Goku.
Let the enemy achieve their final form and then destroy them?
Nah. A lot of the time, no.
Yeah, not much else other than Warcraft and Sniper Elite, so multitudes of murdering idiots, really.
Yep, just murdering different idiots in different contexts. Fair enough. Alright, I guess move on to Danny next. What have you been up to the last week?
Well, I'm just having a look through my thingamabop. You know, Steam and whatnot. Well, I've been playing... I did the Legion stuff with... and Sniper Elite with Matt. Played Lego Marvel on my own. Played Siege with you and Steph. Right?
I'm sure we've played at least a couple of games of Siege in the last 7-day period, and even if not, then I guess it's technically a free game since your first appearance. You don't have to adhere to the week rule if you don't want to.
Well, no, it says this week I've played Lego Marvel Superheroes, Siege, Puzzle Anime, and Sniper Elite on Steam, and I've been playing Warcraft. So. And I've got myself to 3, 4, 6 on WoW now, so I'm raid ready. And I've been
ready to raid.
Yeah, tried a couple of new characters on Siege.
Yeah, no, it's good to be able to play a few different characters, you know, spice it up, get some variety.
Yeah. The Lego one's kind of different than the other Lego ones I've played. It's got slightly different mechanics than normal. It's more... It's just basically set in New York. And everyone's mashed in there together. Kind of. So you can just mismash all the Marvel characters and all the... They seem to use the very obscure unlocks for the ones that are just sat around the map. It's like, who are you again? Do you know what I mean?
They use a lot of non-mainstream characters, some C and D listers.
Yeah. And Pixel Anime 2 is a jigsaw puzzle game.
Okay, so solve puzzles?
Yeah, you do a literal jigsaw puzzle. You can press a button to see the background of it, but largely you got to work it out for yourself.
Did you say it was anime themed or something?
Yeah, it's anime themed. They do different ones.
Is it like for specific like copyright anime or like generic anime style or what?
It seems to be generic anime style. It's like a battle scene or something. Just seems to be there's 25 puzzles or something daft. But it's called pixel puzzles, so they do a whole like different things. They do them with different themes and stuff. I just got the anime version.
All right.
Yeah, the Sniper Elite with Matt's just been
crazy.
looks like everyone else has got everything they wanted to say out of the way.
Why are you even up
So I guess I'll move on to...
Right.
Sorry, Danny?
You haven't done what you've done for the week.
Yeah, I know. I was just getting there. Motherfucker interrupted me before I even have a chance to explain what I'm talking about. Motherfucker, I'm gonna kick him off the podcast. He's never gonna be on the show again.
Moving on.
So yeah. What am I doing? Okay, so last week, other than playing a little bit of more Rainbow Six Siege with Danny and Darius and Stefan, also played a little bit of... I played 2 games with my friend Jacob. Both games I was essentially dropped into with no explanation as to how to play the game, which kind of made for an entertaining idea.
Sounds like a Jacob thing.
Yeah, no, that's what he does. That's how he do. So the first game I was dropped into was an older game from like the mid-90s. I think it was called Heroes of Might and Magic 3.
Yeah.
That's the one.
I like Heroes of Magic.
Yeah, so essentially the idea is that it's like it's a turn-based strategy game, epic strategy game, kind of along the lines of like the Civilization series, except with a little bit more focus on combat. Each turn you use your resources to build up your city, which can give you access to certain resources, certain unit types, make your units stronger, buy new heroes, etc., etc. You can then deploy your units that are built on a weekly basis, each turn representing 1 day. So each week you generate new units, and these units you can then deploy alongside your hero and traverse the world, and fight random mobs, collect resources, secure buildings which generate resources, level up your hero, learn spells and abilities to make yourself better, all those good things. I had absolutely no idea how to play the game prior to just being dropped into the middle of it, so I spent most of my time wasting units, throwing them at enemies, dying over and over again, and just barely cobbling together a very basic understanding of how the game actually works.
Well,
at which point... What's up?
Oh, I was saying that I've got Heroes of Might and Magic on the PS2.
Yeah, we were playing the PC version. And so yeah, once I had basically learned how to play the game, that was essentially the point that Jacob decided to reveal to me that he had found a backdoor entrance to my base, and that pretty much at any point within the last 12 turns or so, he could have just ended the game, and just decided not to because I seemed to be having so much fun. Which is fair. It was fun. I was a little sad to find out that I was that far behind the game, but you know, that's life.
But if Jacob's played it before, then he's got more awareness of what's going on.
Yeah, he's been playing it quite a bit lately. He definitely knew what was going on, and I fully expected him to just destroy me. I didn't realize that he was just gonna play with his food like that. That made me feel a little sad.
It is what
it
if you've had practice, the next time you play, you'll have a better idea of what's going on, and you won't be as bad.
Yeah. The thing is, Jacob's the kind of person where if I were to, secretly buy the game and practice it in my own free time, and get better at him. Oh yeah, for sure. I remember doing that with some game. I can't remember what it was. It may have actually been Civilization 5. He was the person who first showed me that game, and as soon as we finished playing, I was like, okay, this is fun, but I can't let him know how much fun I had. So I'm going to secretly buy it on Steam, and then I'm going to get really, really good at it. And then we're going to play against each other, and I'm going to kick his ass. Except that doesn't really work with Civ 5, because the game takes like 40 hours to beat, so it takes a long time to actually demonstrate your skill level.
When I played with you and stuff, make heads or tails of Civ.
Yeah, that's a little overwhelming. There's a lot to keep track of. So, yeah. The second game that I was playing with Jacob, this time was it was just a solo game. It wasn't a head-to-head. On the more modern end of the spectrum, I was introduced to a game called Oxygen Not Included.
Sounds like a space game.
It is a space game. Essentially, it's kind of like... I never actually played it, but if any of you have any familiarity with the game Fallout Shelter, it appears that it's kind of almost like a hybrid between that game and like Terraria. It's essentially a 2D sort of cartoon style space survival game where essentially your goal is to create a colony, a space colony, from the ground up. You literally land on the territory. You have a little bit of oxygen, and which is all naturally generated, by the way, and a teleporter, and that's all you got. You gotta just go.
So you gotta try and build like a habitat, and then build like oxygen plants and whatnot.
Yeah, essentially, most of the time when you spawn in, you'll be around like rocks that like auto give off oxygen, but those rocks deteriorate over time. Like they have a set amount of oxygen in them, and as they decay, you know, if they go away, then that's it. You just run out of oxygen.
You need to find new sources of oxygen.
Yeah.
Or game over and you have to start over again.
Yeah. That's pretty much how it goes. It seems like I didn't get very far before I died, but it looks like the early game, primarily the way you get oxygen is by building an oxygen machine, which is fueled by algae, which you have to find by exploring the map and digging out your habitat.
But if you can get an algae pool going, then it should create a perpetual amount of it.
It definitely helps.
Theoretically, the algae should reproduce faster than you can use the oxygen at some point.
At some point. But I never got to that point. It's an immensely complicated game. Like, to the point where it's like, you know how, like, sometimes... I don't know how often you guys participate, but I know Stefan and Terry certainly like to play those specially modified Minecraft mods where, like, it's like ultra super survival plus, where it's like you have to keep track of your sanity, your body temperature, your thirst, your air, your everything. Well, it's kind of like that, except in a 2D format.
Sounds a bit weird.
Not only do you have to figure out how to maintain a steady supply of oxygen, they also take into account the fact that carbon dioxide, which does exist and you have to avoid it, is heavier than oxygen and will sink to the bottom of your habitat, whereas oxygen goes to the top. So if you dig down, you'll be surrounded by oxygen, or surrounded by carbon dioxide that is pooled at the bottom of your habitat. And if you go up, your oxygen flows to the top, and the ground suddenly becomes hard to habitat.
Ew.
It's savage. It is a savage game.
Doesn't sound too pleasant.
And top that off with the fact that I had no idea what I was doing. I was given no instruction.
Again.
Yeah, it was rough. I think my guys survived like 9 days before everything officially fell apart.
Lasted a week. Well, just over.
You know what? A small advice. Playing tutorial might help.
Yeah. It was fun. I've considered looking into buying a copy and maybe playing it on my own time. Kind of on the poor as hell side right now, unfortunately. Be making about $100 a week for the next 8 months, so not great. But anyway, enough about my financial situation. It was fun. I had fun. But that's my gaming for the week taken care of.
Okay. So next phase.
Yeah. I suppose now we move on to some news articles. So I've posted links to news articles in the Discord for you folks to review. I suppose the first one we'll start off with is a relatively lighter piece, since the other two are a little bit on the sadder, more heavy side. We'll talk about Nintendo and their continual lack of understanding of how the internet works and how modern gaming works.
Yeah, where you pick up and put things down for a while and then pick it up again.
Yeah. So, this article comes to us from the Polygon, and the article is Nintendo Switch Cloud saves may be lost if online subscription lapses.
So if you run your subscription out and take a break and then resubscribe, all your save data's gone.
Yeah, so essentially, Nintendo has announced that they will be rolling out an online service for the Nintendo Switch, which will include, among other things, support for cloud data storage, which sounds great in theory. It's a paid service, but I mean, welcome to the modern world. Everything costs money. Mm-hmm. If you can't afford to pay, X amount of money to do this thing, I mean, what are you doing? Anyway, but that's not important. The important thing is that this subscription to their cloud service is apparently directly linked to your access and use of your cloud data. And if at any point, for financial reasons or just a mistake on your part, your subscription lapses and you fail to make a payment, Nintendo says that it's very likely that all of your cloud data associated with that account will just evaporate into thin air.
Yep. You ain't paying us for our server space, or we ain't keeping your stuff on our servers.
Well, sounds a bit...
It's the basic gist of it.
Which is great. Leave it to Nintendo to be, anywhere between 5 and 10 years between, current modern video game technology and still be releasing less good versions of it, even when they do, quote-unquote, catch up.
No, I just think they're trying to be Apple, whereas Apple are like, we've brought out a new phone, we've put less features in and charging you more money. Nintendo have gone, we'll let you save on our service, but the moment you stop giving us money, we'll wipe it.
It's basically holding your data.
Delete everything.
You are dead to us.
I like the idea that it's not like an automated thing. I mean, obviously it's automated, but I like the idea that it's not actually automated, and that they have employees whose job it is to monitor their subscriptions and as soon as one lapses, they're like, all right, we have to go, and then they just run to the server room, throw the server on the ground, and just smash it into a million pieces.
Delete, boom, gone. Whew.
Like they have races to see who can get there first, and the guy who gets there first gets a raise,
Commission for the amount of accounts deleted in a month.
Yeah.
Well, on the reasonable side of it, I think it's a little bit harsh. Okay, I get it, cloud storage will be erased, but something like saved game data, that should come at the moment as in the price of your gaming platform. I'm fine here with if you stop paying, your, let's say, pictures, screenshots, etc. would be deleted, but I would expect at least my saved data of the games would be there.
Here's what I think, right? I mean, compromise. Does Nintendo really need to keep your data for infinity? Maybe, but let's say that's not fair for some reason. I have no idea how much it costs to run a server. But let's just say that that's completely unreasonable from Nintendo's eyes. So let's come up with a compromise. Let's say you stop subscribing. Give them 6 months, a year.
Yeah.
Give them some period of time where they'll hold on to it. And if you don't renew your subscription within that time, then it's gone.
Yeah.
Well,
It's just click. It's just turning off a brain. Come on, why?
Well, I was reading a few bit further down the article, and they do state it's the other ones you can download the cloud storage to an actual hard disk or a USB or something.
I guess this is important to contextualize this as a comparison to other services.
You say both the PS and the Xbox can do that. You can download your save data to the hard drive, and then export it somewhere else if you need to your own cloud storage, or to your own storage device.
Right, exactly. So other game developers, the PlayStation and the Xbox, they both have alternative solutions to the problem that Nintendo is facing. Nintendo has just decided that they don't feel like coming up with an alternative in line with those folks. So I guess you're just boned.
Yep.
I also love the way the article ends. It's like the best ending. It's like, you know, right at the very end of the article, they asked, the people at Nintendo were asked if they have any statement for possible future, changes to this or anything like that, and all they say is, we have nothing to announce on this topic. So it's like, basically, it's like people are asking us, like, do you plan on fixing this problem? Do you plan on giving us some kind of recourse for this enormous drawback? And Nintendo says, no.
No, get lost.
Yeah, essentially their response lies somewhere on the spectrum of to get bent.
Sounds alright.
So yeah, good job, Nintendo. Way of the future. But unfortunately, lighthearted days are over. We have to move on to other forms of news, and I guess this is kind of a bittersweet topic, this second one. This is actually a follow-up on a previous news article we discussed on an earlier episode of the podcast, talking about how Twitch is planning on increasing their security measures for future TwitchCon events. This article also came from the Polygon because I had a really hard time finding good news articles from other websites. So you got 2 Polygons and 1 PC Gamer. So this article is essentially came out as a response to the very unfortunate incident of August 26th, where a shooter entered a Madden NFL tournament with a gun and fired at players and the crowd, and unfortunately it resulted in a number of injuries as well as 2 deaths, plus the death of the shooter himself, for a total of 3 kills, which is horrible and very unfortunate. And I actually seem to recall saying in that podcast where we first talked about this, one of my first responses was, easy solution to this problem. Let's not, nobody needs to talk about gun control or bullet control. We don't need to get into that. It's like, just put metal detectors at the entrances and your security will be dramatically improved. And what do you know? This article is all about putting metal detectors and security officers at entrances to the convention center. What's that?
They're also stating that they will be putting up full body screening as well. Like the ones you should have on the airport.
Oh, the backpack ones. When you go put your backpack in and it goes through.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, that's all sounds like good stuff to me. I mean, it'll slow down the entranceways, but at the same time, I mean, it's a small price to pay for safety at these unfortunately increasingly dangerous gatherings that previously did not have such security measures. When everybody, going back to RTX, as I'm myself and many people in this community are big fans of Rooster Teeth. RTX last year was the first year they decided to implement metal detectors and security officers with wands at their entrances, just showing once again they're ahead of the curve. They're already taking measures before this shooting even took place. At the time, they only had, I think, like 1 metal detector, which was a huge pain in the ass. But this past year, they increased it to, I want to say, a total of 4 checkpoints, 2 metal detectors each. And I have to say, someone who was constantly going in and out of the convention center, with that many metal detectors, things went by pretty smoothly. There was never really any bottlenecking at the entrances.
Oh, that sounds good.
So, if they handle it appropriately, have the correct amount of metal detectors, take their security seriously, I think this will be a positive step in the right direction. It's unfortunate that these measures have to be taken, but it is what it is. People are stupid and make stupid decisions.
Well,
Kill the stupid.
If you think about it, in most massive organized gigs, you do have these securities anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty common.
So,
most of the time. there are
Yeah,
some minimal security measures.
most of the time.
It's just been shown that these minimal security measures just were not adequate, unfortunately, and so now they're taking a step up. It's a show of a sad state of affairs, but at least we're taking precautions and playing it safe from now on.
It reassures the people who are at the conventions if they have, everyone's got to go through these pre-screen stuff, and it'll put them at ease a little bit more.
I do think it's a little interesting. It's understandable, but a little bit interesting that they've gone as far as to specify like baggage dimensions, like that you can't bring bags over a certain size, and they also say they go as far as to say that if you buy merchandise at TwitchCon that exceeds their baggage limitations, they will not allow you to come back into the convention center with that same bag, which is it's odd, but I kind of get it. I'm trying to think if there's anything.
Or they could have like a
that.
pick-up point when you buy it, we save it, you can pick it up later on in the reception.
Or basically have some kind of locker or storage out.
Yeah, that would be alright.
Just outside the convention thing for a while, or like what is it when you go to a place and you put your bag in and then you sign it in.
Cloakroom.
Like that,
Cloakroom.
yeah. But you can sign your bags in and whatnot.
Yeah, those are all solutions that could potentially be implemented in future TwitchCons. They're preparing this for the 2018 TwitchCon, I believe. So this is something they want to have,
Next month.
up and going, right away.
Is it TwitchCon next month?
They can't. Yeah, it's like next month. I just checked in the article. It's late October. So yeah, they only have like 40 days to implement this stuff. So, I mean, from the article, they've obviously been talking about this internally for some time. But even still, there's only so much they can do for the first year. Let's just hope they can get the security check-ins up and running properly, and then we can worry about additional conveniences and setup in the future.
Well, basically, yeah. Well, so they get to see what it's like in action, and then they can review it and say, well, that worked, that didn't work.
Exactly. It's just a test.
They'll have to.
But it's a good one.
You don't know until you've implemented everything whether it's going to work or not.
Yep. Anyway, that's I think that's enough of that one. But I suppose it's time to move on to our final article, and I confess that this is not exactly specifically per se video game related.
Yeah.
However, it was an article published on PC Gamer, a video game website, so I'm going to count it because it's relevant.
It's tied into electronic entertainment.
Yeah, but it's also it would affect like Twitch and streamers and YouTubers and stuff. What is arguably one of a bigger community now.
Well, there you go, gaming related.
Yeah.
Fixed it. I mean, it was either going to be this article or it was going to be the dozen or so articles talking about how Steam now allows uncensored video games on their service, which is great, but I don't really have anything to talk about that because I don't have any pornographic games in my library yet. But, whatever. That's all great. That's as a brief touch-on note there. I'm in full support of that. Let freedom reign.
I can't
let people buy what they want to buy.
For a review on this porno game you're going to buy.
Yeah, well, tune in for a future podcast. Anyway, back to the article. So this article is, again, from the PC Gamer, and it's talking about how the European Parliament passes controversial copyright bill that could drastically impact the internet. Essentially, what this article is all about is they're referring to a new bill that was passed that has been approved by the European Union. It's still not officially in effect yet, but it's been approved for review or whatever. I don't know how European politics work. Essentially saying that they're going to implement automated system that is intended to detect copyrighted materials across the internet on websites such as Google and YouTube,
Facebook,
and any services owned therein, Facebook as well. Essentially, they claim that the purpose of the bill is intended to make sure that artists are properly compensated for their work by making sure that anytime their material is used somewhere on a website in a way that is quote-unquote not allowed, that they will either be taken down, demonetized, or have the monetization redirected to that artist.
In essence, make sure your shit doesn't look even close to something else, otherwise this robot will go, copyright ban.
Exactly.
That's what it's going to do.
Yeah.
It's basically a continuation of the ongoing adpocalypse that YouTube, as in particular, has been facing, and now it's widening to a broader selection of websites, thanks to the European Union.
Yeah. And it's, yeah, you won't be able to. One of the things that keeps popping up is memes and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're saying, people are concerned that memes could potentially be threatened by this article due to the fact that they frequently use copyrighted music.
Yeah, like memes and
to create a joke.
Oh, what is it? The other comedy stuff where, like, Team 4-Star would have big issues.
Yeah, no, comedians are definitely at risk because, I mean, let's face it, music is very frequently used to comedic effect in YouTube videos, whether it be for a straight regular video that just has a funny part edited in, or if it's just a total shitpost joke meme in the first place. Yeah, like the Dragon Ball Z abridged uses a lot of copyrighted music. They've definitely drifted towards using more in-house first-party music, only resorting to covers when necessary. So that's definitely one way they've avoided this preemptively.
And the other bit of the bill is to do with link tax. So every time you post something, you have to pay tax on it.
Yeah, so apparently they won't allow you to... They won't let you... This is interesting because it's on a video game news website. They say how you will not be able to create links to news articles that contain more than like one word or whatever of that article's title in the link. So I don't even really know how that works. I guess you just can't link to news articles anymore. It's like, I don't even understand this part.
What kind of breaks the sharing of knowledge in press? It's basically freedom of press almost. That whole thing all over again.
See, I thought that the whole point of, being able to link to an article is, once you have a link to an article, at that point you are giving the creators of that article full credit, and everyone who reads your comment full access to that article.
I can see the biggest problem there is Twitch. Not Twitch. Twitter. Assuming...
Oh god, yeah, Twitter.
Because basically you won't be able to tweet. What would kind of make Twitter benign at that point?
I mean, Twitter is essentially like the social news website. When you think about it, that's essentially what it is. It's...
Hashtag blah blah blah. This to basically spread stuff. Well, spread knowledge and news articles everywhere. If you can't do more than one word of a news article, then you're gonna have to try and sum up a news article in one word. Like, how's that gonna work?
Yeah, and then, like I say, this isn't explicitly video game related content, but I could see how this could affect video games. I mean, video games have been known to use copyrighted music every once in a while. And, the people who make the games might license the music for its usage, but, that's going to get into a weird area when people are doing Let's Plays or Twitch streams with that copyrighted music in it. The game has the license for it, but the people don't. So what happens to the video then? It's like people already have problems, having to mute their game audio or turn off in-game music and shit like that just because of the horrible copyright system on the internet.
Well, I'm sure there's a clause in the terms and conditions when you're buying the game that, because if you're allowed to stream the game, then therefore anything that is in the game has also been given permission to be used in a stream because it's in the game, and the game does not tell you can't do this.
And while that might be great and all, that might be, I think that would be good for developers to have like clauses like that in their, end user agreement, as a recourse for players who get hit by it. But at the same time, it's like, I'm concerned about the front end of it. That can be used to recover from a situation, but just the initial, like, I'm worried about the bots just detecting it and being like, nope, this is bad, you can't have this, not allowed, and then it becomes up to the user to try and fight their case,
Yeah, it's basically when you get handed a 5,000-page assignment to do in a week, and instead of actually doing it, you copy-paste from somebody else's article and hand that in, and everyone goes, yeah, this is fantastic, let's use this one. Actually, it's just a piece of shit. Just done really quickly without much thought. That's what this is. Plus, it's designed to give control to the EU over what can and can't be shown, more than restricting copyright theft.
Also, surveillance is the other key thing. Is basically
Everyone's surveyed.
Yeah, that's constant. But yeah, they want to, like, you can watch this, this, and this, but you can't do this, this, and this. They're trying to restrict it more. Well, just like what they did years ago. This isn't
being recorded by Discord right now? It's all everything we do is recorded, so I won't worry about it too much.
Sure.
Yeah. All I'm going to say is that you British guys might have been right about the whole Brexit thing. It's like, oh god, we saw this coming. We knew it's going to happen. Get out, bail.
Yep. Saw them Polish people were trying to get rid of. They just won't fucking leave.
Sorry, I'm staying.
It's like, Matt, that was highly insensitive.
They know when they're not wanted.
Well, speaking of exiting, I think it's about time that we wrap this one up. Ryan will be happy to know that we managed to keep this in a reasonable time. If we count for the part we have to cut out, we're looking at 55-ish minutes, probably. So that's not too bad. So sad to leave it on a sour note, but that's the world we live in, unfortunately. Maybe news will be more positive next week. Maybe someone will have cured cancer with Rainbow Six Siege or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'd like to thank you all for joining me.
Curing you with bullets.
Thank you, everyone. See you. Bye bye.
See you later.
See you next week, everybody.